Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So, Vladimir Putin visits his domains and properties in Crimea, and he's going to celebrate or have a little anniversary of the reunification of Crimea with Russia, and we'll see if anybody is going to shoot his airplane down. I don't think that would happen because then nuclear war will probably happen, and they know it. Russia today, from 18th of March 2023. Putin arrives in Crimea for reunification anniversary. The Russian leader visited an art school and children's center in Sevastopol. President Vladimir Putin arrived in Crimea on Saturday to mark the 9th anniversary of the peninsula's reunification with Russia. The head of state toured a children's art school and also visited Korsun, a branch of the renowned International Children's Center Artek, which dates back to the Soviet era. Putin also took a look at how the construction of the Taurik Chersonesos historical, I think that's how you pronounce it, if not, I pronounce it my way, historical and archaeological park is proceeding. Now, Chersonesos was an ancient Greek colony which was founded about 2,500 years ago and is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Mikhail Razvozayev, the governor of Sevastopol, said the city authorities were poised to open the art school on Saturday and I'm quoting, everything was ready for a video conference with the president. However, Putin came there in person, the government says, because, and I'm quoting, because on such a historic day, the president is always with Sevastopol and the people of Sevastopol. All right, here is the Putin walking around, it seems like. He looks, is it? Let's see if he's gonna walk. Well, the guy ridden with cancer walks pretty well. Look at that. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, okay, yeah, I see you. All right, he just waved at me. The Crimean Peninsula overwhelmingly voted to join Russia in a public referendum after a Western-backed coup in Kiev in 2014. On March 18th that year, Putin signed a law on Crimea's accession to Russia. Neither Western countries nor Ukraine recognized the move, which Kiev on numerous occasions vowing to take the peninsula back. And that's it with that one. So he's back in business. He's in Crimea, which I think is a courageous move if if you look at it that way. On the other hand, it's March. I saw him being put in a little bit kind of like dressed summerly. I mean, not with what I thought was a big coat or something when he was walking along with those other men over there. So I'm surprised the Ukrainians are staying put. They don't do anything crazy. If this would be a real situation, I mean like total war, total Krieg, then you would have had a lot of bombardments in Crimea right now. Don't you think? I think so. You see, there are certain signs that could point to this scenario, or at least this conclusion. These guys are really communicating big time, and I have no doubt that they communicate. I don't know to what frequency, but I know they're in contact with one another. I'm talking about the Americans and the Russians, and probably the Russians and the Ukrainians to a lower extent. But the fact that there is no, as of now, or it was no attack, no missile attack, no drones, no nothing from the Ukrainians, that tells me that the Ukrainians' bosses told them, stay put, don't move. Remember, Biden came to Kiev. Now, if Biden would have been shot down by a Russian crazy, then I guarantee you the problem would have been big. Some people probably would have a little White House party. I'm talking about Kamala, which would have been, Madam President. In this case, the same. Nothing happened so far. Remember, there was no attack on any world weasel coming to Kiev. I think the Russians could have shot down a lot of planes if they really wanted, because they have the capability. They use a hypersonic missile and they blow whomever they want, and the other guys can't do squat. Let's put it this way. So, but it's not always, no, it has to be a level of control that is so strict and so followed. I mean, it's so much discipline in not having some crazies on both sides, all sides, reacting and creating a big problem. Let's say they found out that, hey, this is he's coming to Crimea, let's try to do something to this guy. And there's a group of guys within the whole, let's say, Ukrainian military or United States military, and they would be, shadow action, and they will do it and say, I don't know who that was. At that point, I don't think it really matters who that was, because if, let's say, Putin's airplane would have been blown up or anything going towards that, I think the Russians would have just, okay, everybody here in Ukraine done. Not the United States or anybody like that, but they would point out to that, saying, hey, that occurred, we're going to retaliate with these weasels. Have anything to say? Bring your nuclear weapons out. Don't bring your little weasel tanks and F blah 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 and F fa fa fa. You know what I mean? So he went over there. Remember, Crimea did not wait for the new leaders in Kiev, which took control of the legitimate government that was in place at that point through a coup. People died. And that was a bloody coup. It was not a color revolution, so-called, with the NGOs and the people activated in there. No. And money distributed or funded. So when you talk about the NGOs and say, what the hell is going on with these NGOs? What's wrong with them? Well, NGOs are funded and organized by, they are used as cells, legal cells in countries. All countries. Those are like, you have the, let's say, the embassy staff. You have the embassy staff, and in the embassy staff, you bring your cooks over there, the driver of the car. You have the other people that are, I don't know, just attachés with environment or whatever BS they can tell you. And those guys are just, people with ranks, if you know what I mean. And they do other stuff in there. And they contact, they're just people who connect other people, distribute information, make connections for obvious reasons that not the cook or the driver. That's why these guys are under surveillance 24/7 and everywhere they go. So here the same. There could be a lot of people who are just inside Crimea that could have started something, and even those guys, the so-called, I don't know, sabotage groups or however, liberators, loving makers, whatever, how you want to call them, the Ukrainians I'm talking about in Crimea. You can't control everybody. Look, they're controlled. Nobody moved. How is it possible? That tells me it's a harmonious move. This is like an orderly, how should I put, group. It's a group that is so organized and disciplined by an order coming from Zimbabwe, from across Atlantic, to these guys that nobody moves. Can you imagine how controlled those guys is? I don't care if Putin went over there and walked with his right hand around his body and the other one walking like this. No, I don't care that. Like get a whatever pistol as a KGB agent. But anyway, it's just the little training. I mean, you're familiar with that. He's walking with his right hand not moving when he walks, only with the left, like this. It was a KGB training, supposedly, that you have to have it always here, so in case something happens, you can get your weapon out instead of being here with the hand here when you walk. And then, oh, fuck. All right, in the meantime, supposedly. Anyway, if you look at Medvedev, he does that too from time to time. He's not that well trained. So yeah, it amazes me not that, oh, he went over there. I think that's a bold move. I mean, remember that drone came over there, what? They say in the territorial water of nobody, international waters and international air, how do you call it? International airspace, let's put it this way. And I don't think so. Remember when the Russians claimed that whenever that kind of drone, what MQ-9, was flying around Crimean Peninsula, usually the Ukrainians executed an attack with drones. Now, did they know that Putin is going to be visiting? Possibly, and these guys gave a signal. Don't bring your shit here. And I don't know, man, it's so much discipline. You know, even in your family, if you tell everybody, hey, nobody moves, you're going to have an idiot moving, you know. But here, and that's your family, it's not about, military or crazies full of passion and hatred, because, war is war. And then nobody moved. All right, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.